Hi, and welcome to the Self Pub Comics podcast. I'm very sorry it's been a while since we done one of these. I've been very busy. I just wrapped up on a Kickstarter I had, 2084, the new order. That got wrapped up 2 weeks ago. And yeah, that took a month of my time up. And yeah, so trying to get back on these now. We're not doing this series of the creator interviews just yet. We're just building that list up of people to come on. So this week's podcast is about the 5 things I learned from my first Kickstarter. I did my first Kickstarter 12 months ago. It was for Ghost Island issue 1. And yeah, it was quite an experience. And hopefully I can pass on some knowledge that I had from my first Kickstarter experience onto you guys. So without further ado, enjoy. So 5 things I learned from my first Kickstarter. Number 1, you can't just stick your comic on Kickstarter. I mean, you can, but it's if you want it to be a successful campaign, you need to do a lot of build up to your comic, what it's about. You need to be sharing all your hopefully you've got like a preview of your comic, so you can share some images on all your social media like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and be doing that for about like a month, 2 months before your Kickstarter release date to build up some interest and attention and buzz, about your comic. You're passionate about this, you want it to be successful, so you want to share this with as many people as possible. So you can't just stick it on there, if you get what I mean. You've got to, get the Kickstarter release date down to get the Kickstarter release date to people. When you're launching, like when I'm following somebody and they say, "Well, Kickstarter's coming up. It's going to be. I'm doing a Kickstarter, and then you really like the look of their comic, and it's like, well, when is it? I want to know when to back this project. Tell me the date." So if you can get a Kickstarter date and maybe put that on some of your images, this is the date that it launches, that kind of thing. I'm warning you of this because I did this myself. I just stuck it on there. I mean, I did do posted some images of Ghost Island from the comic on Instagram, Facebook beforehand. I was originally planning to post the project on one certain date, and then I just got impatient. I was like watching everybody else's Kickstarter. I was just like, fuck it, I'm putting it on now. Put it on. Nobody knew it was launching that day, and then I was just like frantically messaging family and friends like, "Oh, my Kickstarter's on, will you have a look at it?" So yeah, be in a position where people know when your Kickstarter is going to kick off, and just get the word out about that, because people don't know about it. How are they going to back you? Number 2, be consistent. You've got to be consistent with your Kickstarter campaign. You've just got to keep going every single day of your campaign with posting on all the social media. I mean, if you've got a preference, stick to maybe 1 or 2 of them, and you've just got to post every day, because you've got to think of it like this. You post on a Monday, somebody that was browsing through social media might have not been on their phone on Monday, or so post on Tuesday, they might be there, then pop up and they see it, and then you've just got to be consistent and constantly sharing your stuff everywhere basically, not spamming, but different groups on Twitter or Instagram. Make sure you use hashtags on Instagram, hashtags on Twitter as well, for extra people to discover you. But yeah, if you've got your Facebook page or Twitter page, make sure you're posting daily images, or every other day, because that's what I did. I launched the Kickstarter, and then I'd done a few posts, and I was like, a week later I was like, oh, I haven't done anything, I haven't posted anything for a while, best post an image or something. yeah, just keep it consistent though, because you might get a backer from it. You know, even if you're posting every day, and you could get 3 or 4 backers or more a week or a day. It depends how well it's going. I mean, and how well you're sharing it, and with the right audiences as well. But it's good to be consistent. You know, it might cross someone's path that may not have if you hadn't have posted that day. Number 3, the first day of your Kickstarter is so important, because a number of things can happen. If you get enough backers on the first day, or there's like some kind of algorithm thing that happens with Kickstarter, you can get like a little Projects We Love Kickstarter badge, and that it does something. I think it features you on the home page or like on the comics page when you click search comics on Kickstarter. It helps. I got that recently with my latest Kickstarter, The New Order, and I think it did help, to be honest, because in the last 2-3 days of the Kickstarter, it comes up on their page saying ending soon, and it had a Projects We Love on it, and it just attracts a bit more attention, I think. And it's a bit of a badge of honour. No, I'm joking. The first 2 campaigns before that, both Ghost Islands, they never got the Projects We Love badge. They had more backers for those campaigns, so I mean, I think it just is down to how well the first day goes, and it sends alarm bells off in Kickstarter offices saying, "Whoa, we got some baggers here, let's slap that badge on." So try and make it a good one for good first day. They also say on the first day of your Kickstarter campaign, if you can get at least 20% of your funding goal, then it sets you in good stead to get your funding goal for the rest of the campaign. I mean, obviously, if you can get more than that on your first day, fantastic. But if you can get 20%, that's usually like a good standard to aim for your campaign, and then you can just trot along kind of thing throughout the campaign. I say trot along, it's a bit negative, but it can feel like a trot because you have like a middle period where you won't get, or there'll just be no backers for like days. So there is a quiet period, and it can be quite demoralizing, but you know, they will come again at the end. It sparks. It's the weird, wonderful world of Kickstarter. But yeah, the first day is so important. I don't try not to scramble on the first day. Have it all prepped and ready. Unlike me, as I said before, people didn't know when my Kickstarter was going to be, what the date was, and then I was just like messaging people on the day saying, "Oh, it's on now." Well, you didn't tell me, so I'm doing something today. So, yeah, you just gotta make sure that first day is important. It's your launch day of your comic at the end of the day. This is an important day. This is a big day. Make it feel like one. Do everything that you can to show that on your social media, people, your friends, family. It's your day. It's your big day. Number 4, not everybody cares about your book. This may seem like a harsh thing to say, but it is a reality in some cases. I mean, not everybody reads comics. If you're relying on family and friends to support you, then that's great. And if they can, that's even better. And if you want them to back you, then, well, you know, at the end of the day, if they don't like comics, well, they're not going to back you. And when I say this, when people don't care about your book, it's not that it's bad or anything like that. It's just not for them. So it's about finding your audience, finding those social circles who care about your book, who care about the idea, and who will support you and who want to read your book. Because it can feel like that. It can feel like people don't care about your book. Nobody's backing it. It's halfway through the campaign. My campaign's dying. No backers are coming in. What's happening? And usually what the case is, it's nothing down to you or your book. at all, you know, your book could be fucking amazing. It's just finding that audience and finding that, as I said, the group that care about your book. And there are those people out there, you know, who love your book, and you've just got to find that audience. And when I say finding your audience, I mean, like, say if your book's about horror, find some horror social groups, horror book readers, you know, even people that like horror films, you know, you could convert them to liking comics as well with your horror comic. Or, you know, it's finding that audience for your book that will make or break your book, basically. At the end of the day, these are your readers that you need to find and look after, and you know, they will get you through these Kickstarters. You know, that this is what you're producing at the end of the day, is a book for a person to read and enjoy. So try not to get downhearted by, like, if people don't like your post or don't like you know, what you're sharing. It's because you haven't found that audience for your book just yet, but you will. It takes time, and you know, you will eventually find it. And once you do, you can start building from that, and you'll be able to build a bigger support group, and yeah, you will have it will just get easy for you from that point, because you know, you've got an audience that supports you and knows your work. And yeah, just keep building and keep going, keep strong, because it can be demoralizing sometimes when you're sharing stuff and there's no reactions, or you know, you've put so much work into this that you want people to see this and enjoy it. But just keep going. And yeah, it's I'm making it sound like a really hard process. It is a hard process, but as I say, it can weigh you down sometimes. But just keep plugging away at it, and you will get there at the end. Number 5, try not to stress too much. My first day of my Kickstarter, I didn't sleep. I did not sleep at all. I was just so nervous, and because Kickstarter is all or nothing, then there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of pressure for you to make your goal, because if you don't make your goal, obviously you can't produce what you've strived to make over the last months or years. So it can be stressful. So you need to just take some time out. You know, don't check your phone at like every hour, or I mean, you probably don't. That's just me. But you know, take some time off your phone, because sometimes you can get emails sent to you when you get a backer alert, and that's probably the best email that you can get, when you says, "Oh, new backer, you got a new backer." So you've got to be consistent with your posts and stuff on social media, but you know, just if you can limit your time off your phone or away from the computer, and not like stare at your Kickstarter computer screen like I did a couple of days, because it can weigh you down big time. You'll burn out pretty easily. So this point really is just take a little time out from your Kickstarter, take a rest. And if you don't fund your project, it's not the end of the world. Take a while, sit back, reflect on what went well with the Kickstarter, and what people responded to well. You know, the positives that you can take back from it, and come back bigger and stronger. You know, you won't be the only one that hasn't made it before, and you won't be the last. So just go out there, do everything you can to the best of your ability. From your layout to your Kickstarter, from planning your posts over the next coming days, weeks for Kickstarter. And yeah, just enjoy the process, get some sleep, and yeah, that's my 5 tips that I learned from my first Kickstarter. I hope this has helped, and yeah, if you liked the video on YouTube, then give us a little like, and if you are listening to on the podcast, give us a cheeky 5-star rating. It always helps the podcast and helps us get the word out to other people. and possibly help them in their comic book producing journey. Is that good? Yeah. Okay, I'm going to go now. If you would like to check out any of my stuff, the links are in the show notes on the podcast or the YouTube link bar. Afterlightcomics.com. You can find all my stuff there. Or Joey at Afterlight Twitter. Thanks for watching, and I will see you. I don't know when I'm going to see you. I'm going to try and do this soon, but I'm going to go. Thank you for listening and watching.